to Supernatural Japan, the podcast where we explore the mysteries, legends, and ghost stories that hide in the shadows of everyday Japan. I'm your host, Kevin O'Shea, and today we're diving into one of the country's strangest modern curses, one that mixes baseball, Osaka enthusiasm, and a fast food icon tossed into a river. This is the Curse of the Colonel, that bizarre legend said to have haunted the Hanshin Tigers for decades. And after this supernatural tale, there'll be another one, a little odd, but not quite that supernatural, and it's a connection between Kentucky Fried Chicken and Japan, yet again. Before we get to the curse itself, we need to understand the Hanshin Tigers. Because without the Tigers, the curse makes no sense. The Hanshin Tigers are based in Nishinomiya, in Japan's Kansai region, right between Osaka and Kobe. They're one of Japan's oldest and most beloved baseball teams, founded in 1935. And they play at the legendary Koshien Stadium, home of Japan's national high school baseball tournament. But their fan base? Well, that's where things get special. The Tigers are Osaka's team through and through, and Osaka fans are famous for being loud, passionate, emotional, and fiercely loyal. Supporting the Tigers isn't just about baseball. It's about regional identity, a lifestyle, and sometimes even a point of pride against Tokyo. While the Yomiuri Giants of Tokyo are often compared to the Yankees, wealthy, dominant, and widely disliked outside their region, the Hanshin Tigers are the ultimate underdogs, and Kansai fans love them all the more for it. So, when the Tigers win, the celebrations are loud, wild, and, well, sometimes a little chaotic. Which brings us to the night everything changed. It's 1985. The Hanshin Tigers have just won the Japan Series, their first and only national championship. This was huge, absolutely massive. Osaka exploded with joy. Fans rushed to the streets of Dōtonbori, the neon-soaked entertainment district famous for the Glico Running Man sign and the canal that cuts through the heart of the city. Celebrations quickly turned into a kind of wild street festival. Fans began chanting the names of Tigers players one by one, and people who resembled those Tiger players were thrown into the canal as a good luck gesture. Harmless? Maybe. Weird? Definitely. But then it got stranger. When fans reached American slugger Randy Bass, the MVP of the season, they realized there was no one in the crowd who resembled him. So instead, someone pointed out a statue outside of a local KFC. Yes, Kentucky Fried Chicken. A statue of Colonel Sanders, complete with his white suit and glasses. The crowd roared, and moments later, a group of overexcited fans ripped the statue from its post, paraded it around, and, of course, threw the Colonel into the Dōtonbori Canal. At the time, it was just seen as part of a wild celebration. But when the Tigers' fortunes tanked after the historic victory, people started whispering. Had they offended the spirit of the Colonel himself? What followed was a decades-long stream of heartbreak. After 1985, the Tigers struggled year after year. They finished last repeatedly. They suffered injuries, disasters, and ridiculous bad luck. Even when they fielded strong teams, something always seemed to go wrong at the worst possible moment. Fans, known for their superstition, began to blame the missing statue. And so was born the curse of the Colonel. In Kansai folklore, especially Osaka street legend, objects can gain spiritual power. They can harbor emotions, memories, or even a kind of presence. So the idea of a cursed or offended object isn't that strange to people familiar with Japan's supernatural traditions. The Colonel, once an innocent restaurant mascot, became a symbol of bad luck. Locals joked, but also secretly worried, that the Tigers would never win another championship until the statue was found and returned. Over the years, divers searched the canal, fans made offerings, some even prayed for forgiveness, but nothing turned up. It became a running joke in Japanese sports, but for many Tigers fans, the curse felt painfully real. Then in 2009, 24 years after the statue was thrown into a canal, a miracle. Construction workers dredging the Dōtonbori Canal pulled up something unusual. First an arm, then legs, then a head. Piece by piece, they recovered the long-lost Colonel Sanders statue. The Japanese media exploded. Kansai news stations broadcast live footage. Fans lined up at the canal's edge to catch a glimpse. Some cried. Osaka city officials cleaned and restored the statue, patching cracks and replacing missing pieces. It was eventually placed at a KFC branch near Koshien Stadium, symbolically close to the Tigers' spiritual home to feel right. But did the curse lift? Well, fans hope so. And the Tigers did show signs of rebounding in the years that followed. It took some time, but guess what? In 2023, they finally won the Japan Series again. That's right, the two times they won it, 1985 and 2023. What took them so long to win after the statue was found? Well, some fans believe the Colonel was angry, and others think the spirit of the statue simply drifted too far from its home. And some believe that the curse was never supernatural at all, just a reflection of how deeply Osaka ties emotion and identity to its beloved Tigers. Well, whatever the truth, the curse of the Colonel lives on as one of Japan's most unique urban modern legends. The story just isn't about baseball. It's about Osaka. It's about joy, chaos, superstition, and the way people create modern folklore out of everyday events. Osaka is a city that loves big personalities and big emotions, and the legend of the Colonel fits right in. Even today, if you walk through Dōtonbori at night, under the neon lights and the moving crab signs, you might hear older locals laugh about the curse. Others will shake their heads with genuine superstition. And some will tell you, quietly, that something changed that night in 1985, that something was disturbed in the water, and that the spirit of the Colonel did not appreciate being used as a stand-in for a baseball player. Supernatural? Maybe. But in Osaka, where humor and belief intertwine, the line between myth and reality is wonderfully and mysteriously thin. Thanks for listening to Supernatural Japan, and if you enjoyed this episode and the story of the Curse of the Colonel, please subscribe, leave a review, and share the show with friends who love Japanese mysteries, folklore, and urban legends. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and keep your eyes on the shadows, because you never know what legends are waiting there. Even the Colonel. Now it's time for something a little extra and a little special, since we are in the winter and Christmas season. And this is a winter Christmas season story from Japan. This is a fun piece from my other podcast about Japan, the Just Japan podcast. And in December 2016, I was interviewed by the BBC about why Japanese people eat KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, for Christmas. A fantastic listener of the Just Japan podcast sent me this clip after hearing it on BBC Radio, and I put it in a mini episode that was released on December 26, 2016. Now, back in those days, there were very few Japan-related podcasts, so mine got a lot of attention. It was common in those days for traditional news organizations to reach out to me with questions about Japan and Japanese culture. So here it is. Sit back and listen to another Japan and Colonel Sanders connection.
You're listening to the Just Japan podcast. Everything you want to know about Japan.
Hey there, folks, and welcome to a special holiday bonus edition of the Just Japan podcast. My name is Kevin O'Shea. I am the host of the Just Japan podcast, a weekly podcast that comes to you with all things Japan. But you know, something really cool happened on Christmas Day, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. So I was contacted by BBC Radio a few weeks back, and they were interested in doing a piece on Christmas Day about Japanese culture and Christmas and the tradition, the phenomenon of Japanese people eating Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC at Christmas, and other things. I was once contacted by BBC Radio 5 Live once before. As I mentioned, once before they contacted me. But I was sadly unavailable to come on the air at the time. They had basically contacted me through Twitter, and I was in class teaching, and my phone is in the teacher's room, and many hours later I wandered down to the teacher's room, picked up my phone, and saw that BBC had asked me to come live on the radio ASAP, which wasn't a possibility, so because of course I was working. But the producers kept in touch with me, and they said, anytime. I said, anytime I'm available to come on and talk about Japan stuff, more than happy to do so. So they asked me to come on Christmas Day, and yesterday, so I'm recording this on the 26th of December, which is Boxing Day in Canada. It's just another day. It's a Monday here in Japan. But I was contacted again, and I was more than happy to come on BBC Radio 5 live yesterday, which was really cool. So the small piece aired yesterday morning in the UK at 7:55 a.m. UK time, and that was about 4:50 p.m. here on Christmas Day. I had family here partying it up. I had guests over. They did a great job of trying to be quiet in another room while I sat here with the door closed, and it was really great. I was a bit nervous going into it. It's the first time I've been interviewed by a major radio station. I've been on a lot of other podcasts, which are great, but that's obviously kind of a bit of a different vibe. And also I was pretty worried about my Wi-Fi connection. I don't have a LAN cable in my house. I don't have like a hard internet connection. I use only Wi-Fi, and my Wi-Fi is pretty sketchy. So often when I'm interviewing people, it does cut in and out. So I was pretty nervous that was going to happen, but it didn't happen. So, and it ended up being a really wonderful Christmas. I baked a big butterball turkey from Costco, a 6.6 kilo. That's a 14.52 pounder. I spatchcocked it, which means the only way to fit it in my oven was to remove the backbone and break the breastbone and flatten it out, which actually means it cooks quite quickly. And it only cooked it like in an hour and a half, literally an hour and a half, and it was good to go at 180 degrees. So friends were here. Everyone was really happy. A lot of great food, a lot of great drinks, and it was wonderful. So I've got that interview clip for you guys to listen to of me on BBC Radio 5 Live, and I want to thank Powell in the UK for sending me the file. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that, Powell. I need to send you something to thank you. That was so great of you to send it. So everyone sit back and listen to my brief little interview, about 4.5 minutes on BBC Radio Live.
Oh, wonderful James Brown there. Craig Charles talking about him. Now, I'm already starting to think about my Christmas dinner later on today. Turkey, very, very high on the list for that meal. Roast potatoes, gravy, stuffing, and of course, Brussels sprouts. But what probably doesn't come to mind immediately is a brand of fast food chicken, which is finger-licking good. But to many Japanese citizens, KFC equals Christmas Day. Canadian Kevin O'Shea has lived in Japan for the past 8 years and hosts the Just Japan podcast. Kevin, why on earth do people eat KFC on Christmas Day?
Yeah, well, it's amazing. It's a phenomenon for those of us who are not Japanese. But apparently it's something that began in the 1970s. There was a very clever manager of a KFC outlet in Japan who noticed that apparently foreigners would come in at Christmas Day feeling homesick and they couldn't get turkey, so they'd eat chicken. So he took that and created a marketing campaign and ran with it. So just how busy are KFCs on Christmas Day then in Japan? Oh, they're extremely busy. Now, KFC has, every day, of course, you can get chicken, but the KFC Christmas party buckets are very special. They're actually something you have to pre-order. So you're going to have to order those at, I think, the cutoff is like a week or so before Christmas. So you order those, but you have to pick them up at the shop. And on Christmas Eve, the lineups are out the door and around the corner.
It's a wind-up list, right? They're queuing up for hot wings on Christmas Day.
They're queuing up for drumsticks, the chicken legs, and all kinds of bits of chicken. And it's really turned into not just chicken, but you can get these special party meals where it comes with a bucket of chicken, it comes with a Christmas cake, it can come with salad, all kinds of stuff.
That's crazy. Yeah. I never thought KFC would be making Christmas cake. I mean, how much of the population of Japan is Christian, and how big a kind of festival is Christmas in Japan?
Well, from everything I've read over the years I've been here and have known, apparently it's only about 1% of the population is Christian. So Christmas, as people in Japan know, it doesn't have any kind of religious connection, but it's been growing bigger and bigger every year. And even in my 8 years here, I've seen it grow so much. Traditionally, I mean, when I say traditionally, I guess a new tradition, Christmas has been kind of a romantic holiday in Japan.
So people still buying into it with all the decorations and things?
Yeah, well, they absolutely are. If you go to shops, you walk down a kind of a busy shopping street, you go to a supermarket, there's decorations all over the place. But even now, more and more people are getting Christmas trees for their own homes and decorating their own houses.
I'm just trying to think to myself, imagine going home to the relatives this afternoon, right? And said, look, we were going to make a turkey for ourselves, but actually we're just going to pop down to KFC for our Christmas dinner.
Yeah, I know that seems very strange for us from, Western culture, from the UK or from Canada. And I have to admit, it really boggled my mind when I came here. But, so I'm a Canadian and my wife is Japanese, and we have a bicultural family. So we celebrate Christmas, and I actually baked a turkey today, which we're going to dig into not long from now, because it is actually almost 5 p.m. on Christmas Day here in Japan. But it's not easy to get a turkey. I'm able to, but 8 years ago when I first came here, it was impossible.
Listen, Mr. Kevin, if you're Canadian, I was over in Canada for the first time a couple of years ago. And if we're talking about fast food, I didn't get this fat without knowing my fast food. Your poutine are lovely.
Yes.
I'd never had poutine before. Chips with cheese and gravy.
Yes. It's a deadly sin, a delicious deadly sin, isn't it? Yeah.
It's
gorgeous. Yes, poutine. Yes, the national food of Canada. It's just very, again, turkey is something that's really difficult to get. You can buy it now. They have big box stores from the United States here. You've got Costco, which is becoming more prevalent in Japan. But the problem is, a typical Japanese oven, you're not going to fit a turkey into it. So
Mr.
Chicken's
Kevin,
what you got.
Thank you very much indeed. Morning to you. Morning to you wherever you are in the UK today. Welcome to 5 Live Breakfast on Christmas Day with Carissa Chatterton and myself, Stephen Nolan.
All right, now that was a lot of fun, and it really made me excited when they introduced me as Kevin O'Shea, host of the Just Japan podcast. So if any of you out there are actually new to the Just Japan podcast because you heard me on BBC Radio, welcome. I'm very happy about that. And for all of the rest of you guys out there, guys and gals listening, thank you so much for your support over this year. This will not be the last episode. It's not the last time you'll hear me this year. I will put an episode out just before New Year's, about New Year's. And hopefully I'll get a few friends on to chat about New Year's in Japan and just kind of what they're doing and that kind of thing. But it's been a great holiday so far. I've been really appreciative of all your support out there, guys. You guys are really awesome. You guys email me at justjapanpodcast@gmail.com. I get emails over there from you guys. You guys are very active on the Facebook page, which is great. And a lot of you follow me on Twitter and Instagram. So those are both Twitter and Instagram. Those are both at JLandKev. And the Facebook page is just type in Just Japan Stuff. And of course, the homepage, the landing pad for the Just Japan podcast is justjapanstuff.com. I've also been doing a bit of writing. I'm going to do a bit more of the holidays over on boostonkevin.com. Go check that out. But yeah, just thank you so much, guys. Spread the word about the podcast. If you want to find out any information, go to justjapanstuff.com. Just Google the podcast, right? But yeah, I hope you have had a wonderful Christmas, Hanukkah, holiday season in general. I know it's the first time in more than, I think, 40 years or so that Hanukkah and Christmas have overlapped, which is always cool. So just I hope, no matter what, I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. And there'll be more from the Just Japan podcast, more from Kevin coming soon. In a few days, I will put out a new episode just before Oshogatsu, the Japanese New Year, and New Year everywhere else. So I gotta go, guys. It's the middle of the morning, and my kids will want to come into this room, the Just Japan podcast studio, and see what's going on. Normally, I record when they're fast asleep, so I gotta go before they burst in here and cause some mayhem and wreak some havoc. All right, folks. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I hope you're doing well. Take care, and wherever you are, I really hope you're happy. I hope you're healthy, and I'll be talking to you in a couple of days.
Well, that's it for this episode of Supernatural Japan. Again, thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review and a rating wherever you listen to podcasts and share it with a friend. That helps the podcast grow. Of course, you can see all kinds of great pictures of the Hanshin Tigers, Colonel Sanders, the curse, and all of this lore over on our Instagram at Supernatural Japan. Of course, we have a Facebook group too. That's at Supernatural Japan over on Facebook. Check the links. They are in the show notes. You can follow me, Kevin O'Shea, on Blue Sky and X at Mad for Maple. I'm active in both places. You can email the podcast anytime you'd like at supernaturaljapan@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your stories, thoughts, ideas. Just reach out and say hi. Again, I'd love to hear from you. You can support the podcast also on Buy Me a Coffee. In the show notes, there is a link where you can give a one-time donation that helps so much to the podcast, or you can become a member. And that's really it. Check out those things. Check out those socials. Again, the links are below in the show notes. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to Supernatural Japan. I really appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope you enjoyed this chicken-licious Colonel Sanders, American-oriented Supernatural Japan podcast. A lot of cool tales, a lot of neat connections. Well, that's it for another episode of Supernatural Japan. Hope wherever you are in the world, hope you're happy, hope you're healthy, and be careful wherever you are.